Well, hello, it's Audrey from Odds and Ends, and I had a show in the background, so obviously I could not speak. I have to mute it, so I'm going to do a voiceover on here. And this is my page for Moth-Ridden for hashtag Moths in the Scratic. And yes, I know I'm using butterflies. You don't have to use any bugs at all. You can do whatever you want. But I do like butterflies, and so I am using it. And this is the packaging that came with these clothesline flag banners that you'll see in a minute. I just cut off the top of it to fit the page, and then I inked the little scallops because it really does. It's the same tone as my background paper, and I want it to show up. I glued it down, and this is the base tie-dyed paper is very cotton. Things glue very well to it, so I didn't have to really worry about that. So my normal barely art precision craft glue works perfect, and you don't need a whole lot. And I like that thin tip. So I glued it down, made sure it stuck. Then it's so much easier to do this when talking while you're doing it, because then you can fill up conversation. You don't really have to think about it. So, I used a glitter highlighter to edge the outside of this die cut, and it's a clothesline. Has these has a doily, some paper, some flowers, butterfly, a frame, newsprint. The things that are in that I'm going to be putting down below. It's just the below is more of a close-up of what's on this clothesline. And I edged it in this highlighter, but at the end I end up lining it with black marker anyway because it wasn't enough contrast. And I'm like, no, it needs more. I tried though. I didn't want to have to outline each one of it, but it's so muted and so dainty, and it's just not showing up very well on the obnoxious tie-dye, which, tie-dye is supposed to be obnoxious. So, and tie-dye is nice and worn, and most often moth holds because of the dye that is added to the fabric. And it's something that you wear over and over and over again, and you get little holes all in it, no matter if it's the moths or just the age of time. And then this fine tip is great for works like this, so you can get the glue where you want it. It doesn't squirt out everywhere. Put it up at the top because clotheslines belong at the top. Next, I got this page from the Book of Butterflies. It's like aged print with butterflies and script. It's a little too wide for my page, so we're going to tear off some. And then, of course, I have to tear off the bottom because who wants a straight edge at the bottom? Not I. It did fit, but I still don't want a straight edge. I want some of the background paper to show. That was the point of making this journal, is so I could use these pretty papers in something. And then I'm going to ink it up with the archival vintage photo ink. And it's so funny because I have the Distress ink in that same color, but it's so old that it's not as dark as this ink. This ink is great. I'm like, why did it take me so long to go buy new ink? So I'm going to glue it down. And one of these days I'm going to have to go buy one of those music programs where you can get music for the background. And I know they have free music, but not my taste. And then this is a laser cut butterfly floral lace paper. And I definitely didn't want to outline this in black, so I'm just using my base. It's a light tan nude color highlighter. And it's just making the edges a little dirtier than, well, dirty. They're making it dirty because it was clean. And I just wanted it to contrast with the light green background and to cover up the advertising print that was on that page. Because I'm like, I want to use this packaging, but I don't want the advertising to show up. So put that there, and then I'm going to glue it down and try to keep it away from the cut portions of the paper because we don't need glue squirting out everywhere. Now the center of these flowers was easy to put a dab of little glue on there. Press it down. I debated on this doily, but I couldn't make it work. I'm like, no, it's too much. It's overtaking the delicate laser print, the laser cut paper. I'm like, nope, not going to use it. I debated though, and it's still out, so I may use it for another project, just not this one. I didn't plan everything I was doing on this page, so I will be pausing it to go get some more product. This is a piece of used jute, and it's got some rubber cement on it. It came off of packaging, but I'm like, I can use it. I'll put something over the rubber cement. I'm like, that's just fine. I mean, this is supposed to be for us using our scraps. Well, that's what I'm using. And okay, I just opened this fabric tack yesterday. Now, I have no idea that lid was screwed on tight. How did it come unscrewed? This could have been a disaster. So I just spread it out as much as I could. Thankfully, fabric does need quite a bit to stick. This is an old scrap from hemming jeans that was just in my scrap bin. I'm like, eventually I'll find a use for it. And then I'm using what spilled on the mat to go on this trim. Try to hold it down, and then got baby wipes to clean up the mat before we had a big old chunk of glue there that never came up that would annoy me. And then clean the bottle up. I mean, I just opened it yesterday. There's no way I used it yesterday and did not put that lid back on. And then the little red cap screws on, and it screws different than the lid. I don't know. I have no idea. It's going to be a mystery. And I know nobody in this household would have unglued it for me. I'm like, it's just a mystery. Oh, well. And then there's no harm done. And I have these, the extra threads from where the jean was fraying that I pulled off, and then I couldn't find what I wanted. I tried it in a couple places, and it was just too stark compared to my very light faded things. I'm like, no. I'm like, okay, can I make it a bow? Kept trying things. Like, nope. And this is where I paused the video. I came back and I grabbed 3 of the faux wax seals and butterflies. And one of them was purple, not blue. Over in the bin, it looked blue, but it's purple and it just doesn't match. And then I tried the coral because at least that would bring in some of the pink from the Pokemon page. But it just contrasted too much. I'm like, oh well. The cream, much better. And it went very well with the jute trim. And yes, it's sticky on the back, but that's sticking. It would never, ever have stayed on the rough fabric. That's not level. So I added more Fabri-Tac. And I did just put a couple strings underneath it. Just to show you that the denim is pretty ratty. And then I added 2 little wooden flowers. I ended up putting some Wink Stella on them and then inking the edges of the flowers in a tan pen, but it kind of turned out olive green, which is fine because the background paper is green. The pen reacted to the wood. It soaked in, which is fine because I wanted a little bit more contrast. So I don't object. It just wasn't the color I put on the wood. I don't show the part that I inked the wooden pieces because I decided I wasn't happy with it. I'm going to trim my sentiments, and I have a whole box of these words I showed on a previous haul. And these are my colored words, and I got into my white words yesterday. So I have to decorate a box in the future because it's just blah, blah, blah. But the sentiments are the key to my heart, forever and ever, and homemade. And I thought it went very well with my version of shabby chic. I don't really do shabby chic at all. So this was definitely not my comfort zone, but I'm like, moth-ridden. I think that's what the prompt is. Moth-Eaten. Same difference. I'm just like, okay. And I did edge the words with a pen, so they pop off the page a little bit more. And this book is getting very fat, and it does not really want, it's not going to close. So I'm going to have to get like a elastic, piece of a flat elastic to put around it, because as much as I wanted to say I was going to keep this flat, you never do. You're really good. And then, 1 or 2 pages you put trim on, then another page you use foamy, the foam adhesive, and then you put a piece of chipboard in there. Then you add a pocket, and you put things in the pocket, and then you add a couple layers of fabric, and then add a button or a wax seal, and pretty soon every single page or every other page has dimension, and you're like, okay, I can't close my book anymore. But it's okay. I would have liked to make this a chunkier page, but I was trying to keep in mind that I still have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more prompts to get done. And they got to fit in this book. So we're gonna think thin for the next 2 weeks. And speaking of thin, I need to go to the gym today. So I think this is gonna be my last recorded project video for the day. I might work on some more projects, but that will be in front of the TV, listening to a YouTube video to catch up, because Sunday is normally my viewing day. But I can watch a few videos at the gym, and then I can come back and craft a little bit more before bedtime. Although today might be a perfect day for a nap. Although every time I take a nap, one of my kids calls me. They have, three of them might not live at home anymore, but they still know how to interrupt a nap of moms, because moms don't nap. And literally, I get a nap maybe once a year, twice a year, if I'm lucky. But I did not get much sleep last night. A nap might be good. And I'm just outlining this die cut so it pops a little bit more off the page. And I probably should have zoomed in before this video was over, but I do apologize for that. Thanks for watching.